You have to ask yourself why God has seen fit to keep some details vague and sealed all of this time. That's because the truth is dangerous. The truth will set you free as easily as it can get you killed. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. A divine truth challenges a person, challenges authority of politicians, as well as massive corporate churches and secret societies. The truth is bittersweet. It's written in blood. This is a historical fact. It's also in our future. The fifth seal martyrs will testify to that, as well as the tribulation saints. How much do you love the truth? Ask those who love Jesus, who is the truth, the life, and the way. Revelation 10:10. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Ooh. Right now, there are many different interpretations of Bible prophecy. Somebody's narrative is going to be wrong somehow. This is a certainty as the truth becomes clearer with the passage of time. How hard is it going to be to accept the truth as prophecy continues to leap off of the pages of the Bible? This is a serious question because it is this very thing that we are going to be confronted with as the days and months pass. Even unbelievers have a narrative that keeps them cozy at night. They have a variety of them. Believers' varying beliefs are just as numerous, but are more focused these days on prophecy, such as timing of the rapture, who the bride is, who the Antichrist is. Did Jesus have a wife and children? Is there really an actual temple to be built in Jerusalem? Are there actually going to be two human witnesses? Who are the 144,000? And there are lots of arguments, debate about the actual prophetic timeline, that and more. And still, we persist in our angry arguments, knowing we're at the door, finding out the answers to all of those questions. Even as we watch the signs from heaven appear one after another, the arguments are pretty heated. 2 Timothy 3:7 is where we really find ourselves in that situation, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. As believers, all we have to do is check our ego and listen to the Holy Spirit. There are others, however, that stand to lose a lot more than pride, and they will fight against you for it. I want you to be ready for anything. The bride made herself ready in every way. And I quote, they loved not their lives unto death. Revelation 12, the chapter about the bride. Loving not their lives unto death. Fitting company for a groom that was and is the same way. He would give his life. We have to face and embrace the bitter as well as the sweet. If we are meant to suffer in any way for our faith, then we must always remember that we are not more than our Master, the one who showed us the way on the cross, the one who told us to take up ours. Let me explain what I mean. The truth, a divine truth, has a dark history when it tends to come out or be revealed, and history tends to repeat. Let's begin with Moses. There was prophecy about him, signs in the stars. Pharaoh felt threatened, so he ordered the male children under a certain age to be slaughtered. When Moses grew up, he eventually had to go back to his brother Ramses to ask him to let his people go. Ramses was Pharaoh now. This challenged authority, his authority. It affected the social dynamic. It was a divine visitation and appointment. First, Ramses attacked the people by doubling their workload. Many judgments and miracles followed, including the plagues, death of the firstborns, splitting of the sea, and later the Ten Commandments. But we see here that when the divine appointment was happening, when God was working, that it did a few things that are common, that have patterns, and it's changing and it's challenging the social dynamic. It challenges the authority of who's in charge. And this was a part where the Spirit of God and politics began to clash. It happened again when Jesus was crucified and he was first tried by a high priest, Caiaphas, and a statesman named Ananias. The prophecy experts had hardline beliefs at the time before Jesus was born on how exactly prophecy would go. They were wrong on some key things. The prophecies were right, but their interpretations were wrong, much like we might be finding ourselves today. Isaiah 29:12. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. That is a story, and I believe actually a prophecy, part of a prophecy, and it's delivers the book to him that is not learned because he doesn't have preconceived ideas. He can read it and his eyes will not automatically think certain things, and therefore it'd be easier for the person who is not learned, not somebody that can't read, but somebody who's not learned in a subject, to see things more clearly. But back to Jesus. By the time we come to Jesus's trial, we first meet a high priest named Caiaphas. He worked to keep a balance between abiding by the rules of the Romans and pleasing the Jewish people. He was both priest and politician. Religion and politics are holding hands. He handed Jesus to Roman authorities for crucifixion. Ananias, the elder statesman, he was into social status. He was less about serving God and more about the title. He also controlled temple offerings income, and he was pretty major into the money changing that went on, that Jesus had a really major problem with when he tossed the tables over and said, Stop making merchandise of my father's house. So sparks are flying. Why? Because Jesus is affecting the social dynamic, thereby threatening the hierarchy. If Jesus wouldn't have completed his mission on the cross, then no one would be saved, not even the bride. It happens again later where, again, authority is challenged over something sacred, divine truth, a divine appointment happening. And this has been since the death of Christ, but the Knights Templar found some scrolls under King Solomon's temple in Israel area. And a prophecy on a scroll, one scroll in particular, held a sacred prophecy. A prophecy that got the Templars killed. A prophecy on a scroll that was so important that has been kept secret in certain families until a time that we are swiftly nearing. The ambush on the Templars wasn't just about money. It had a very real underlying religious reason, that prophecy. a prophecy that challenged the authority of the medieval Catholic Church, not the existence of children of Christ or divinity of Christ as was implied in the rumor. It would affect the social dynamic. The Crown and the Catholic Church brought charges of blasphemy against the Templars, accused them of Mary worship, hunted them down in mass, then tortured and killed them, leaving the world to be forever fascinated by what could possibly have been said on the scroll. It was, after all, a hidden secret kept for the last days. Nothing less would cause a group of men to be tortured to death like that. Nothing mythical or unimportant would cause what had happened. And once again, we see that whenever something of God that is a divine truth crosses current day leadership and authority, that the leadership begins turning on the people, that lots of bad happens. But we know that Luke 8:17 tells us, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." And knowing this, knowing that there are certain things that are sealed and certain things that we will seek become manifest, we know that the situations from the past can happen again. I say these things because the end can be seen in the beginning. And in the end, as time begins to progress, we will see an Antichrist. He will be a leader with both hands in religion and politics in such a way that folks will cease to be breathers for not agreeing with him. A one world religion where he is in complete control. He has a personal agenda. The truth challenges his authority. And so will the people that follow the truth just by believing and following the truth. That would challenge his authority. Now, we look because the past shows us signs of things to come. And right now, we are and have been experiencing signs that portend things to come. And when it comes to an eclipse, especially the one on April 8th that we're about to experience, it shows us that something ends and something else is beginning. America is coming in for judgment. The signs we're seeing and have been that are recent actually is the red heifers ready for sacrifice. The Psalm 83 war, aka Israel-Hamas war since October 7th, is leading towards a two-state solution. A building of a third temple will be part of the framework of the deal. Christians will be seen excited about the temple, thinking that it will bring on the rapture, thinking it will, which will be wrong. Ongoing worldwide calls for permanent peace in Israel-Palestine situation. March 24th to the 25th lunar eclipse represented something for Israel. And it was that day that the U.S. had stepped back from participating in a ceasefire vote resolution in Israel. And that came days after a bunch of Democrats got together with a strongly worded letter for Biden to do more for the two-state solution. April 8th eclipse over America is telling us that something big is coming if we aren't very careful with Israel at this time. A series of tragedies that will rip our country apart could be on the way. But what happens after that? Something is going on with attacks on Israel that triggers a long awaited unveiling, a third temple, a great shaking, and the Antichrist. It's all starting with these signs. This is the completion of what began long ago. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. This now is the last days. We're here in the days that the words of the book in Daniel was sealed until these days. We should be expecting something, much like a pregnant woman, but even a mother knows that pain comes with the joy. This September is the 7-year anniversary of first seeing the Revelation 12 sign in the stars, the woman of the apocalypse. Isaiah, there is a verse, even a prophecy, says, "Shall I cause to bring to birth and shut the womb?" What does that mean? Cause to bring to birth. It means the pain is rocking the body. Truth changes the world. Truth hurts sometimes, but it is the truth. The truth lives forever. How much do you really love the truth? Because the truth is out there. Shall I cause to bring to birth and shut the womb? We know that we are experiencing prophetic labor pains. And you don't have labor without something coming out of that, something that you couldn't see before. And that particular Bible verse was talking about woman in travail. So, in closing, I wanted everyone to just take a moment to understand why the book is bitter and sweet at the same time. To bring on into the thinking, the forefront of the mind, that there's going to be two sides to that coin. And you may not know what I'm talking about now, but trust me, as the days continue to unfold, you're going to be confronted and you'll know exactly what this is about. And that's when you'll remember to be careful, to know what could possibly be coming, the patterns of history when it comes to not just any truth, but something that is sacred and from God and is divine. I love you guys. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon.